The city park was quiet that afternoon. Leaves rustled gently in the wind, and the smell of roasted peanuts drifted from a nearby stand. It was one of those warm spring days when everything felt slower, softer, except the ache in my heart. Before continue, please subscribe our channel and like our video. My name is David Miller, and for most of my life, I never thought much about small acts of kindness. I was too busy working, running from meeting to meeting, always rushing to the next thing. But one afternoon, one small act changed how I saw people forever. It started with a simple lunch. It was a Tuesday. Remember, because Tuesdays were my sandwich days every week. I'd make myself a turkey sandwich, pack a bottle of apple juice, and a chocolate bar. It was my small reward for surviving the chaos of Monday. I worked near the park, and I always sat on the same wooden bench under a big oak tree. That day, I had just opened my lunch when I noticed a man sitting across from me. He looked older, maybe late 50s, with unshaven cheeks, worn clothes, and eyes that carried more than just tiredness. He wasn't begging. He wasn't asking for help. He just sat there, quietly watching pigeons fight over crumbs. I don't know why. I noticed him more that day. Maybe it was because his shoulders curved inward, like he was trying to disappear, or maybe it was the first day I wasn't distracted by my phone. Something in me whispered, "Give him your lunch." I tried to ignore it. I told myself, he doesn't want pity. But then I saw him glance at a man throwing away half a hot dog, and his eyes followed it all the way to the trash can. That's when I knew. I walked over, holding my brown paper bag like it was no big deal. "Hey," I said awkwardly. "You hungry? I made too much." He looked up, surprised. His eyes were light blue, once bright, now faded behind clouds of time. "You sure?" he asked softly. "Yeah," I said with a smile. I could use a diet anyway. That made him laugh, a quiet laugh, the kind people make when they've forgotten how. He took the bag carefully, like it might vanish. "Thank you," he said. "Haven't had lunch in a while." He opened the sandwich, smelled it, then smiled again. "You even use mustard." I didn't tell him that mustard was my favorite part. We sat there for a few minutes, me pretending to check emails, him quietly eating. When he finished, he looked at the sky and whispered, "God bless you, son." Then he stood up and walked away, and I thought that was the end of it, just another random act of kindness. But life doesn't forget kindness, even when you do. The next day, I went back to that bench. I don't know why. Maybe I hoped to see him again. So I packed an extra sandwich, just in case, and there he was. Same spot. Same quiet look. When he saw me, his face lit up like he'd just seen an old friend. "You again," he said with a small laugh. "I guess it's becoming a habit," I replied. Handing him the extra lunch. He took it with both hands, gentle, grateful. "Don't know what I did to deserve this," he said. "Maybe nothing," I told him. "Or maybe everything." He looked at me, then really looked, and there was something in his eyes I couldn't quite read. His name was Frank ***. He said he used to be a mechanic. Owned a small garage outside the city. He talked about old cars, about 80s music, and how coffee never tasted the same after his wife passed. That part caught me. I didn't ask for details. Some stories don't need questions, only quiet listening. From that day on, I brought 2 lunches instead of 1, and each time we talked a little more. Weeks passed. The park became our place. He told me about his daughter, Emily. His eyes softened when he said her name. "She must be grown up now," he said one afternoon. Watching the lake, I left when she was 10. Thought I was doing her a favor. I didn't know what he meant, and he didn't explain, but the guilt in his voice made my chest ache. "I'm sure she'd want to see you," I said quietly. He shook his head. Not after what I did. And I didn't push. Sometimes kindness isn't about fixing people. It's about giving them space to breathe again. Then came that Friday. It rained hard. One of those cold, drenching rains that soak through everything. I almost didn't go to the park, but something told me I should. When I got there, I saw Frank sitting in the rain, no umbrella, no jacket. He was shivering, but he smiled when he saw me. "You're crazy for coming out in this weather," he said. "Guess we both are," I replied. Handing him a thermos of soup. He wrapped his hands around it like it was gold. "Smells like heaven," he murmured. That day, we didn't talk much. We just sat, rain falling between us. Steam rising from the soup. There was something holy in that silence. A peace that needed no words. As I stood to leave, he said, "Thank you, David. You've done more for me than you'll ever know." I didn't realize those would be the last words I'd ever hear from him. Monday came. No. Frank. Tuesday. Still no sign. By Wednesday, I started to worry. I asked the park guard. Nothing. A few days later, I went to the local shelter. They knew him. "Yeah," the woman said softly. "Frank was here last week. Got taken to the hospital. Pneumonia." I rushed there, heart pounding. That by the time I reached his room, the bed was empty. "He passed away this morning," the nurse whispered. On the bedside table was a small paper bag, my name written on it. Asterisk to my friend. "David, thank you for the lunches. Asterisk inside was a folded photo. A little girl, about 10, smiling beside a man in oil-stained overalls. On the back, written in faded ink. Asterisk Emily Miller. Daddy's girl forever." My breath caught. Miller. Asterisk, that was my last name. I ran home, pulled out old boxes I hadn't opened in years, and there it was. The same photo. The man in it, the one who left when I was 10, was my father. Asterisk Frank. Was my father. Asterisk. All those lunches. All those talks. He knew. He must have known from the first day. The way he looked at me. The way his voice trembled. When he said my name, he knew. He knew he was feeding on the kindness of the son he'd abandoned. The next day, the shelter called again. They'd found a letter among his belongings. With my name on it, I sat on that same bench as I opened it, and this is what it said. "David, I knew it was you the moment you handed me that first sandwich. Greater than you looked, just like your mother. I wanted to tell you, but I was afraid. I left when you were little because I thought I wasn't good enough. But you saw me not as a failure, but as someone still worth feeding. Greater than you gave me back a piece of my soul I thought I'd lost forever. Greater than thank you for forgiving me, even without knowing it. Greater than love." Dad, I don't know how long I sat there, crying harder than I had in years. Not from anger, but from something deeper. Grief, love, and forgiveness all tangled together. It's been 2 years since that day. The oak tree still stands. And every Tuesday, I sit beneath it with 2 lunches. One for me. One for whoever might need it. Sometimes no one comes. Sometimes a stranger sits beside me and I tell them about Frank. About how a man can find redemption in a sandwich and a little kindness. If you've ever felt like your small act doesn't matter, remember this. A single meal can heal years of distance. A kind word can soften a lifetime of regret. And sometimes the person you help might be part of your story in ways you could never imagine. So next time you see someone hungry, tired, or alone, don't look away. Offer what you can, because kindness has a way of finding its way home, even if it takes a lifetime. Asterisk. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe to Kindness Untold Story. Together, we can remind the world that kindness isn't about what we give, it's about what we see in others. Asterisk, asterisk.